Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday, and what a start to the live stream, taking a look at That's Metal to My Ears, one of my songs. If you want to go over to wingsofpegasus.com and find my music over there, wingsofpegasus.com/music, if you want to check out all of that stuff. But that really was a bit of a tribute to 80s music and metal, as it was called back in those days, but I think it's more referred to as, or I called it hard rock, and some people called it rock, but then most people called it metal, and especially nowadays people think of that kind of music as metal. Anyway, genres aside, thank you guys for requesting that over on Patreon. As always, I've been trying to organise everything for the live stream, literally up until not only the start of the live stream, but during the first song as well. So we'll wait and see if everything works as it should do on screen. So first of all, let me say hi to you guys in the live chat room. We have in there Joe, Anna, PN112, Ro, Deborah, Ginny, Terry, Cindy, Bella, Annika, Bob, Rocker Girl, Alison, Lucy, Annika, Tammy, Laurie, Ro, Dawn, Desert Deluge, Howard's in there as well. Cindy, Ghislaine, Ro, Ginny again. We're getting some repeats of the name. Alison, Steve. Hello, Elisa in there as well. And that was quite a good run I went on there. It was, and now it started to go a little bit faster, but it was going fast enough or slowly enough for me to keep up with the usernames going through. Right, let me get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. And yeah, massive shout out to these lovely people at the bottom of the screen that go across throughout the live streams on a Tuesday and on a Saturday. Now, I know that I think over the last couple of days I've got a couple more patrons and I still have to update the list. So don't panic if your name isn't in the list somewhere. That's just literally me having to type in the names. I have to type in any new additions, hence why occasionally there are some spelling mistakes because my typing is not very good, but you guys always let me know and then I correct them for the next live stream. But anyway, thank you guys for all of your support over on Patreon and for really being the foundation of everything that I do and everything that I can do on YouTube, such as these live streams, the analysis videos, the cover videos, everything that I've done in the past and everything that I'm going to do in the future. Yeah, interview videos as well. So, talking about interview videos and a bit of a link to that, last night I was in London, actually the London Palladium, and I was hanging out with Shirley Lewis, and Shirley was providing backing vocals and actually, not that I want to spoil the show if you haven't seen it if you're in the UK, but she provides lead vocals as well on a couple of numbers. So yeah, that was great to go down there. And I do have only one picture, and it's just the picture of me, the view that I had of the show. And obviously it's before the show. Now the problem is, I mean, first of all, I just went on my own, and this is what happens whenever I get invited to things. I don't have an entourage or a cameraman or anything like that. It's just me going by myself. So taking pictures is quite difficult. And especially at the London Palladium, if you imagine it, it's not really a rock and roll venue. So you can't really get your phone out and start taking pictures of yourself. I mean, you could, but you'd stand out that, oh, look, that guy's taking pictures. Or if I was trying to take a picture of myself, they'd say, why is he taking a picture of himself in the London Palladium? It does look a bit weird. So I did take a picture right at the beginning, and I'll show that on the live stream. Let me try and figure out what I need to do. I'll get the background there. And I don't know where this is going to appear. It's going to be random. Oh, it's appeared in the middle, which is fine. So this was my view of London Palladium last night. So I was in what's called the Grand Circle. So it means that I get the, I don't know, bird's eye view of the stage, which is great because it means that nobody's really in your way. And those two people did sit down before the show. And this is probably only 5 or 10 minutes before Alfie Bow started. So yeah, I had a great vantage point, which was good, and the show was amazing, and Shirley's backing vocals and lead vocals were amazing, but I expected nothing less than that from Shirley. So yeah, great night had by all. And then I was invited to the after show meal where there's, well, I think there's like 16 or 17 people. And yeah, I was sat next to Shirley, so we had a good chat. And this was at about 11:30, something like that, in the evening. So it was very late for a lot of people who obviously didn't eat a lot because it was so late. But I go to bed very late or very early in the morning, so I'm often snacking, as you guys know, after these live streams. I generally attack the snacks, have a snack attack, because of what we talk about during the live streams, being food related, and by this time I usually haven't eaten for about 5 or 6 hours, so I am a little bit peckish, and that would have been the same yesterday, even though I did get some ice cream, like a little pot of that ice cream, and it was a salted caramel flavour, and it was very nice, but obviously it's in a very tiny tub and you get the stick as well that comes with it, so it's a bit weird, not as good as a spoon, but you have to try and get it out with a stick. But I did manage to get it all out, which is great. So I had a little pot of ice cream, but I think I probably just had a cup of tea at about 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 7 hours that I hadn't eaten. So anyway, a lot of people's body clocks were obviously getting ready for bed, but mine was saying, when are we going to eat something? Because I'd be up for another, 6 or 7 hours after that normally. So yeah, I was quite hungry and I almost ate. It was a pizza place that we went to, Little Italy in Soho in London. So yeah, we all went there and I almost finished my pizza and I was trying to finish it, but it was a huge pizza and I think Shirley had maybe 4 slices of her pizza, so under half, because that's how big the pizzas were. But I almost made it. I was within 2 slices, maybe a little bit less than that of finishing it, but I had to just throw in the towel. I ate as much as I could. And yeah, it was great to kind of catch up with not only Shirley, but her brother as well, who watches the channel. And yeah, it was a great evening all round. I mean, the music was great as well. Alfie Bo's got such a great voice. And he did a lot of songs that I wasn't actually expecting. Where, he had a Queen medley, for example. He had Journey in there. He had Bon Jovi in there. Who else did he have in there? There were some other rock songs that I can't remember, but they were certainly a surprise when I heard them. But the great thing about Alfie's voice is that he can hit all the notes. Like a lot of the hard rock songs back in the 80s were in and around, the male tenor range and at the top end of that. So we're talking about, G4, A4, B4, C5, D5, all of that kind of stuff. Thankfully, and not only thankfully being able to hit the notes that Alfie can hit those notes, but he hits them in chest voice because he's a tenor. He can belt them out. He's not having to make any concessions. So yeah, it's great to hear that side of it. I wasn't expecting him to get any classic rock tunes going, but there certainly were quite a few added in there. The first half of the show was more what I'd say musical theatre and opera based. Which is good as well, because, I mean, hearing a classically trained voice is just totally different to anything else that you're ever going to hear, because of just the quality. Just hearing somebody who's dedicated their life to perfecting their voice, it's obviously a totally different thing than watching, either a rock band or just watching a pop artist. But then again, I think with the modern day industry, when you do see a pop performance, it can be either auto-tuned or it can be mimed. So yeah, it's a totally different thing. So when he first started singing, which is the great thing about a classically trained voice, is that he wasn't on stage yet, but the lights went down and then he started singing. And because his voice is so full and because he's just a top-rate singer, he just filled in the whole venue with his voice, which is what opera singing's all about. But, you could just tell the quality. And what I love to hear, and I didn't realise how much I actually missed this sound, were the plosives on the mic, the air hitting the microphone. Because I got used to hearing so many singers where they're not actually singing, that you could actually hear all of that power in his voice hitting the microphone and the air. So yeah, that was great. But anyway, it was just a fantastic performance all round from the band, from Alfie, but from Shirley and Joe, who have been together for years, and they sang behind George Michael. So if you see most George Michael performances live, it will be Shirley and Joe providing those backing vocals. And I don't know, well, I was going to say, I don't know how they do it, but I do kind of know why it happens. That when they provide backing vocals, and Christine says, who is Alfie? Alfie Bo. He's a singer who has done, he starred on Broadway, he's starred in the West End, he's done Les Mis, he's very well known here in the UK, but he's been over in Las Vegas as well. And yeah, he's doing a tour here in the UK. he might be going over to the USA, I'm not sure. But if you type in Alfie Boe, and Boe is spelled B-O-E, then you'll be able to see Alfie there. So he's on tour at the moment in the UK. And yeah, Shirley is doing backing vocals, but also lead vocals on a few tracks in the second half of the show. And back to Shirley and Joe, because their voices, when you add them together, you would swear, if you weren't looking at the stage, you would swear that there were 4 voices minimum that you were hearing, because they just blend so well. It's like a wall of voice that they have. And when I say that, you know, I don't know how they do it, it has got to be that the texture, or the combined textures of their voices, just work with each other so well. And it is great, because on some of the songs, especially the more mainstream songs in the second half, when there are backing vocals in there, like say for example Living on a Prayer, that's the last song that Alfie performed, but just the 2 voices, having those in the background, they just totally filled in the chorus, and it's just a great version. And of course Alfie can hit all the notes in the chorus because he's a tenor. So yeah, just a great live performance all round. And then we just stuffed our faces full of pizza, or at least I did, afterwards. But yeah, that was a great night. And I didn't take any pictures in the meal either, because I don't know, it's not something that when you're at an event, obviously you can take pictures because you're there at the event. Maybe you know, people that generally you don't go to an event or a live music thing by yourself, because you know you've organised it with friends and you go, right, let's go to this particular gig. But when I've been invited down to things, obviously I can't you know, totally I don't know, disrespect the person who's invited me down and bring loads of my friends and say, oh hi, thanks for inviting me down, here are my 5 other people that I brought with me. So yeah, I feel like if I've been invited, then I go down by myself, because that's what the person is expecting. And then especially being invited for a meal afterwards, I couldn't kind of stand up and start taking pictures of myself or pictures of everybody else, or pictures of Shirley, because I'd be like, well, what are you doing? It's a bit weird. Rather than just, because it's just conversations that you're having with people, and you know, they're asking me about my channel and I'm asking them about, you know, what they do, because obviously there's lots of people there that I'd never met before, and obviously talking with Shirley about, you know, the band and the performance, and you know, Alfie's music as well, because he has just started writing original material during lockdown, and he featured a couple of those songs. So yeah, talking about that side of things. So yeah, a really interesting evening, and I think a great evening was had by all. So a huge thank you to Shirley for inviting me down, but just to everybody as well for allowing me in for the meal afterwards, because yeah, that was great. So let's get back into tonight's live stream and get the things up on screen that I get up on screen and then realise that I haven't updated them. But the likes goal, that's something that I haven't updated, I don't think. We are aiming for 355 likes for tonight. So if you could hit that thumbs up, be massively appreciated. And Tammy, right on cue, says, I've forgotten to do the lights again. So there we go. Lights, check. And the likes, we are now fine with the likes, but to the likes, we are aiming for 355. So if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be massively appreciated, because we are aiming for 355. We have got 208, and I was just amazed. I was actually taken back by the fact that the likes actually showed up on screen, because usually when I click on it, it's disappeared and I have to do it all on the screen. But we are up to 212 so far. Thank you everyone who has hit that thumbs up. If you haven't hit that thumbs up now, it is a great time to do it. And yeah, maybe we'll get a spike of the lights. Let me give a plug of the mug while I say the spike of the likes. Here is the Wings of Pegasus mug. If you want to get your hands on any of the merchandise, then click on the tray underneath this video or click on the link in the description below. That'll take you through to the spring.com store, and you'll be able to find all of the merchandise there. The hoodies, the t-shirts, the mugs, the bucket hats, the caps, and stuff. And like I said on the last live stream, the shirts now come in a purple colour. We haven't had a purple coloured shirt sent in yet for Picture Corner on the live streams. So I will keep an eye out for that. And I'm sure that Laura will link me to any that happen to be uploaded. Right. For some of you that can't resist donating, I do put up on screen this donations tab, but as I always say, you don't have to donate. Just tuning in is great. Maybe leaving a thumbs up, leaving a comment, introducing yourself into that live chat room so that we can all get to know each other and each other's usernames. So, getting into the donations that have happened, I can see the Stardust 75 has donated $2.99 saying vibes. So thank you for that, Stardust 74. Now, is that the support band to the support band, Stardust Unicorn, who are the support band to Wings of Pegasus? Who knows? But it's getting quite a long bill now on that particular imaginary gig. But thank you, Stardust 74, for that particular donation. And there have been some donations in the PayPal window. This just reminded me of something. Oh, Fleetwood Mac. That is another band that Alfie covered last night. Anyway, I don't know why that just popped into my head. Totally unrelated to what I was about to say. But on PayPal, something I have found, and we have found, because a few donations that have been made during the live streams haven't shown up on my screen. I haven't got a notification for it. And the screen that I have during the live streams is a folder where all of the notifications go through from PayPal. So that's how I can grab them and mention them on the live streams. But the donations that didn't come through or haven't come through in the past, or at least they have come through, but I haven't been notified. Therefore, I don't get a message that tells me, first of all, that there's been a donation, but then second of all, that there's any message. I can't see anything on my screen. So the donations that have been made that haven't appeared have been made as, or has been selected as friends and family. So if you make a donation to Wings of Pegasus and say that Wings of Pegasus are friends or family, I won't be able to see that that donation has happened. And I think, I mean, the reasoning, I assume, why that happens is that if a friend or family are sending you money, then you would know about that because you've had a conversation with that person, that friends or family member. So, yes, that's what happens. So make sure that the people that do make donations, where I see the donation and get the message, it's for goods and services. So that's what people select. And I think this is, when you make the donation, you get to choose the type of donation it is. So goods and services do come through and I get a notification for that. And therefore I can see the message as well. So just in case you're wondering, but that's something that, you know, for probably a week or longer, we couldn't work out why I wasn't getting any notification for it, but that seems to be the reason why. So yeah, make sure that the friends and family thing isn't chosen if you want me to get a notification and to see the message that has been linked to it. So anyway, Catherine has donated £42.92. So thank you for that, Catherine. And the message was Wings of Pegasus. And that was at 30 minutes past 1 on Sunday morning. So that would have been just after the previous live stream last time. And I was going to say last Tuesday was the live stream that didn't quite work very well because I was having to use my phone. But thankfully, fingers crossed, tonight is going a little bit better. Hopefully the internet will last for the whole live stream. 26 minutes in. And almost 27 minutes in, and we are doing well so far. But thank you for that, Catherine. And Cindy has donated £40. So thank you for that, Cindy. And the message is, this is a straight up donation. So thank you for that. Another one has just come in, and this is from Paul for $2. So thank you for this, Paul. The message is: catch up crew for me. Everyone have fun tonight, and please spike those likes. So great idea. If you can hit that thumbs up, that would be great. And it looks like I might have missed an ad, because I'm looking over here at the donations screen. I miss the little box that comes up because it says we're about to show an ad, and then if I see one of those, I click on the cancellation thing. But yes, unfortunately I didn't see it early enough, therefore some people have got an advert. So I think you can skip them after 5 seconds. So just by talking for over 5 seconds, it means that people don't miss anything if they are watching an advert. And I've probably spoken for over 30 seconds now, so hopefully you guys are back and you haven't missed anything. So anyway, thank you for that, Paul, for that donation. And I'm just going to click on this because there has been an email that I've received, and this is from a donation from Debbie for £10, but it says that there's a problem with it, and I have received a case and something's going on with that case. So I don't know what's happened with that particular donation, but PayPal says that I don't need to do anything about it, but whatever's happening with that. But thank you for the thought for that, Debbie, that £10 donation that is a case that is filed at the moment. So anyway, we'll move on. Tammy has donated £10. Thank you for that, Tammy. And that is a straight up donation. And Steve has donated £5 as well. So thank you for this, Steve. The message is: when Ozzy sings, his words are very clear and easy to understand. Way better than average. But when he talks, he is often difficult to understand. Why is this situation true with so many singers? So thank you for that, Steve. And yeah, I'm not sure whether... I think it's probably more the case that people speak more clearly, and then when they're singing, you can't really understand what they're saying. But yeah, with Ozzy, I think it's probably just to do with vocal technique, that he's effectively, leaning on his diaphragm more and propelling his voice, and effectively getting to the point of almost shouting with his voice. But when he talks quite softly. So he doesn't sing the same way, or at least he doesn't engage the same muscles that he does when he's talking as when he's singing. So when talking, he doesn't really... If anything, he does the opposite of projecting his voice. It's kind of more of a murmur thing. So when I've said about people, talking with vocal fry or not really connecting their vocal cords, is that kind of a thing with Ozzy when he's talking? And there's kind of quite a lot of that kind of sound. So he's always on that border of vocal fry. And like when I'm talking here, if you listen to my voice, how much quieter I've got to be to go down to vocal fry down there. It's so much quieter than my talking voice, and I do talk quite loudly anyway, but it's because I'm connecting my vocal cords. It's just the way that I do talk, and I know that people do talk differently. Some people do connect their vocal cords like me, and other people, well, there's about as little vocal cord closure as you can get when you're talking about vocal fry. That's just a little bit further on than air. So when you're going, air, and then the vocal cords come together. So some people then talk like this and have that. So there's still air going through your mouth. So it means the shape of your mouth and your tongue are still forming the words, but it's with the undertone of, hello, I can still say this, but my vocal cords are making that noise. So very much like, talk box, when you're playing guitar and you have a tube in your mouth, the notes of the guitar are being blown into your mouth, and the shape of your mouth can effectively make it sound like you're talking or the guitar's talking. But all that it is air coming out of your mouth, and you're shaping your mouth to, give the different, sounds or the different shapes that are associated with those words. And I've mentioned about a wah-wah pedal having that same effect of going from a closed mouth, wah, and opening. Therefore, it sounds like wah-wah when you're playing guitar with a wah-wah pedal. So, anyway, going back to why he sounds clearer when singing is because he can't sing like that in vocal fry, which is where, and even people who do sing very clearly, and Ozzy's probably a good example of this, and then they talk, and you can't really understand because they're so relaxed with their vocal that it's mostly just that sound, and you can't really make out any words. So it's just that difference in between singing and then talking in a really lazy way. And when I say lazy, just not supplying enough air to force your vocal cords together. So that's why. And there are some singers who do sing with vocal fry, and it is very much the part of the voice or a sound in the voice that gives you that cry that so many great singers have. But Ozzy, certainly when he's singing, he doesn't have that in his voice, and you'll be able to tell straight away that he's more approaching a belt than kind of talking really lightly. But I think as his career and as he has aged, obviously the aggression of the belting, he can't approach it with that same gusto that he did when he was younger, but it's still much more of a vocal cord connection than when he's just talking, because he doesn't have to worry about shouting, unless I guess, when has he ever shouted Sharon and you haven't understood him? It's like every time he's shouting, you understand him. He's never gone Sharon and then people go, oh sorry, what did you say? Shouting, vocal cord closure, a lot clearer and more understandable. So anyway, thank you for that. And Ginny said, could it be that Ozzy blasted out his voice singing? No, that's just something that you probably haven't seen me just saying that because I only just said it. But with singing, and with shouting, like he can still shout. So it means that he can still engage his voice, he can still engage his diaphragm, and it's when he's talking very quietly, that's just the way that he talks, and that's just the way that some people do talk, and they've got a totally different singing voice when they start just putting more air through their vocal cords. So thank you for that, Steve. And Christine has donated £15.72, so thank you for that. And the message is, thanks so much for just being you charmingly. Thank you for that donation and for the kind words as well. I've said in the past that I do believe in that expression that says, be yourself because everyone else is taken. So I think it's great for especially artists. Just do what you do, be yourself, and then you will be unique because there's only one of you. And that's something that sometimes, it doesn't happen a lot, probably maybe like once a year. That somebody will say, oh, you need to do what this person does on their channel. And I always say, well, if I did what they were doing, then there'd be no point in me having my own channel, because you might as well just watch what they're doing if I start copying them. So I think it's just a great lesson in life, whatever you do, whether it's just a YouTube channel or an artist, a singer, musician, guitarist, anything. Just do it yourself, and if people like it, great, but then if they don't like it, at least you're enjoying what you're doing because you're not pretending to be somebody else and not potentially kind of doing something that you're not thoroughly enjoying. If you're enjoying yourself, then that's all that matters, especially in art, just in general, but especially in music. So thank you for that, Christine. Okay, right, we have the vote going for tonight's cover video, and that is between You Know My Name and A Design for Life. So between those two, I can only ever see the one that's winning, and it's You Know My Name that's in the lead at the moment, which is 68%. Bit of a landslide at the moment, but have your say by clicking on either of those songs that you want to hear my version of a little bit later. Obviously, You Know My Name. I was going to say I was quite smart in that particular video because it was a collaboration video with Kent Johnson playing violin. So yeah, we got dressed up all smartly for that. And probably I was looking a little bit similar to that last night, but I didn't have on a suit. I had on everything but the suit. So I think when you go to the London Palladium, and I don't know, it's like an unwritten thing that there's got to be some kind of dress code, or everybody just turns up looking relatively smart because it is the London Palladium, and having royalty there as well. Not that they were there last night, but in the past, going to watch the Royal Variety performance, I was just questioning myself whether that is it, but it is definitely at the London Palladium. So yeah, having that potential royalty at a particular venue, it is very grand. So yeah, I was looking a little bit smart last night. So you'll see that in the video. If that vote stays the same, yeah, You Know My Name. I always say that that's one of my favourite, if not my favourite Bond theme of all time. And yeah, just I think due to Chris Cornell and his voice and just the song. I like the song as well. But anyway, thank you for all of the donations tonight. As I always say, you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. Leaving a thumbs up. If you're watching this in the future on catch up, then you can still hit the thumbs up. It really does help for the live streams to get out there a little bit more, but for the channel to grow on the whole. Right, let's see. Janice has just donated $10 as well, so thank you for that, Janice. And the message is, friends and family via PayPal should mean PayPal doesn't take anything out. So thank you for that, Janice. And I don't know how the percentage works, but yeah, I mean, that's the only thing, that PayPal takes between 3 and 5% of every donation. And yeah, I'm not sure. I think with friends and family, you can donate that way, but it just means that I won't be able to see it and I won't get any question that is attributed or attached to it. So just to bear that in mind, even though I know that you want to get the money to me and for people to not take a percentage. But yeah, PayPal will take between 3 and 5%, but the super chat window takes between 45 and 60%, around that figure. So you can decide exactly how you want to donate, but just so you know, the percentage split. So thank you for that, Janice. And yeah, that was Janice's first donation in the super chat window. So thank you for that. But I know that Janice likes to do things on PayPal, just I think because of those splits, those percentage splits, because obviously YouTube do take quite a lot from people's super chat donations, which some people, and I think myself included, I think is a little bit high, that percentage. I think over on Patreon, they take between 7 and 10%. So you've got, PayPal between 3 and 5, Patreon between 7 and 10, and then YouTube between 45 and 60. And this is why I always say, if you are donating on the super chat window or through the super chat window on YouTube, make sure that you are typing everything really carefully, because if you accidentally donate, say you wanted to donate $10 and you accidentally pressed an extra 0 and pressed enter, you would donate $100, and like $60 of that instantly goes to YouTube, and I can't do anything about that. So it means that I would only be able to refund you $40, because that is what I would get from that donation, and I would only get that donation the month after it goes through. So these donations tonight I will receive on the 24th of October. So yeah, I have to wait that amount of time before they come through. But that's the thing, that just be careful when you are typing in numbers, because I can't refund the full amount, because literally 60% of it has disappeared. So that's the good thing about PayPal, is that because they only take 3 to 5%, I can refund the full donation. And yeah, I don't mind kind of giving that extra 3 or 5%, even though they do take that instantly. But if it is a big donation, then I can refund it all. And it's just a click of a button, so it is a lot easier through PayPal in that sense. So just so everybody knows these splits and what goes on. So Ed has donated £3.93 as well. So thank you for that, Ed. And that is a straight up donation. Now, I have seen a few people asking about my arm as well, having an arm update. And with my arm, it's a case that I think I've narrowed it down to a trapped nerve. And not only one trapped nerve, but maybe a couple of them that like to get involved. So, interestingly, I was trying to dismantle a wardrobe and rebuild a wardrobe. And the thing about this particular wardrobe is it weighed an absolute ton. So, it was quite a tall wardrobe. So I had to kind of... first of all, walk it down with my arms to get it on the ground, to take it apart. And once I'd taken it apart and then put it back together again, because I was moving it to a different room, I then had to lift it up with its full weight and kind of lift it up almost like a clean and press, if you know what one of those is, if you go to the gym. So you have to kind of lift it up to almost chest height and then get your hands underneath it and push up. So like do like a shoulder press above my head in order to get the wardrobe then standing up. And yeah, it's ridiculously heavy. I don't know how many kilos it would have been, but a lot. So anyway, because of my arm, unfortunately, when I was halfway through the press, I thought I probably shouldn't be doing this with my arm. But it was too late because I'd gone past the point of no return, because I now had the underhand grip of pushing rather than then letting it down and being able to change my hands, because fatigue was a factor. So I then went for the shoulder press and I then kind of got it up onto its kind of 4 feet. Well, it didn't really have feet, it was just a solid base. Anyway, pushed it up, and then after that, I kind of felt my arm on the right hand side and thought, I probably shouldn't have done that. But I mean, the good thing is the next day my arm wasn't feeling that bad. So I think it's literally the case that whenever I do something, and I know that this is the case if I do like a bicep curl, the nerves like to get trapped, and especially with an open-handed bicep curl, when I go down, one of the nerves gets trapped in my elbow to the point where I can't really move my arm, and I just have to kind of wait for it to slowly go into the right place, and then I can move my arm down. So I think that was the case with moving this cupboard, that I've got the strength, but it's just the nerves on the inside of my arm and in my elbow that just get into the wrong place, and that's the pain that I feel, rather than it being anything tendon based. Because if it was tendon based, and this is what the original injury was, if that hadn't recovered, there's no way I would have been able to shoulder press what I did with this wardrobe, because the tendon would have hurt and kind of given way. So yeah, I think the tendon's fine. It's now just hoping that through time the nerves go back to where they should be, and it does seem to be becoming a less frequent thing. But I'm going to leave it for maybe a few more weeks, and if I'm still getting the pain of the nerve being in the wrong place, then I'll probably go back to the physio, and they'll maybe have to manipulate my arm to try and just reset them where they should be. So there you go. That was it. And this is the other thing, because I have a history of exercising, working out, going to the gym, doing bench press and shoulder press and all these things. Whenever it comes to something which is lifting, I'm always pretty confident that I've got the strength to do it. And with this wardrobe, it certainly was something where you think, okay, this would be like a gym exercise that I'm doing with the weight that I am shoulder pressing here. So, I mean, it's quite a good experiment to think, right, if I am going to get back into exercising, whether my arms can take it or not. And I should have maybe thought ahead, but I just get into a task, and once I start a task, I have to finish it. And that was just one of those that I had to finish putting the wardrobe back together and putting it where it should be, and then of course moving it around. But thankfully, yeah, my arm has recovered, or I think it's just the nerve's gone back into where it should be. So anyway, oh, Bella says, I still want to see Phil's Benny arms. Laugh out loud. Circus arms. So this is bendy arms. So it's a bit of a misspelling there. But what I've got, my arms and my right arm, interestingly, is not as flexible as my left arm, because this is the one that the tendon got injured. So it means that, I mean, even still, I've got more range of motion than probably most guys in my right arm, and maybe some females. So, I mean, even there, I can see on the camera, you can see that my arm kind of goes past where it should do. But this is, just to give you an idea, that's nothing like this one. This one goes even further. So I don't really want to, just in case people are watching, I will show you once, and then that'll be it for every other live stream in the future. Then I do have bendy arms. I have either double jointed, they used to both be the same, but now my right one, after the tendon has kind of healed, so that I don't have as much range of motion, but I still got more than most people. So, and Rose says, don't risk it, Phil. And it's okay, my arms do it, and my left arm does it. It's not painful or anything. It literally goes to where it goes to. So, just in case anybody, it's called overextension, or hyperextension, I think. But when I went to the physio, she said, and she was looking at my not very bendy arm, and she said, oh, you've got a big range of motion. You've got like hyperextension of your elbow. And I said, oh yeah, and the other one's kind of even worse. So if you're eating, then look away. I'll do it in, I'll give you maybe a 5-second countdown, and it doesn't hurt or anything. This is just my arms. And like I said, when playing an instrument or singing, some people can just do things with their voice. Some people can just do things with their hands. If they've got big hands, they can stretch a long way. I can just do this with my elbow joints. So I'm now going to show you. Okay, here we go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going for some arm overextension. So this is, I don't know if I can even show this. So that's normal, and that is going the opposite way. So I don't know if you can see that bend in my arm, but that's it. That's what my arm does. And let me cancel that advert going through. So, and that doesn't hurt. That's just as far as my arm goes, and that's called hyperextension. So yeah. Yeah, and so people say, oh, it's disgusting, but it just feels exactly the same to me as somebody just putting their arm out straight. So that is it. And there's my elbow hyperextension. And yeah, apologies for that if any of you are squeamish, but just know that it's just normal for me. It doesn't really hurt. I say it doesn't really hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. But I could probably go into a hospital faking an injury, and I say, oh my God, we got to see this guy, he's broken his arm. It's like, no, it just does that. It just goes to that point. So, and this is the problem that I have sometimes where, like in golf, for example, if I'd be watching a video and somebody would say, okay, with the golf swing, make sure that you lock out your elbows. But my elbow goes there. So, they'll say, lock out your elbows, and they'll kind of be holding their arm like that. And I say, okay, it's locked. And my elbow, my arm goes all the way kind of down here. So for them trying to give you a fail-safe golf swing, you say, look, lock out your elbows, and your club will always come back to the same place. I think, well, what if your elbows go beyond locking? Then you're literally, I mean, that would look ridiculous, because your arms would be like at a right angle to the club, and that's not a way to play golf. So yeah, this is another thing that, me trying to get better at golf, I've got to try and figure out my own way, because if I was having a lesson, say, okay, lock out your elbow, and then I did what I probably think I've broken my arm or something, but I say, look, that's just what my arms do. Anyway, thank you, Jan, as well, for this Norwegian krona donation of 50 Norwegian krona. And the message is, hey, Jarl, a cold, dark night, but all you nice guys warming up. Hand, pink, waving. So thank you for that yarn. And right, we are probably going to be jumping into the cover video, so we will do that. And yes, 123 Rockchild says new subject please, so we are moving on. So we are going to be stopping the vote. Let's see what happens here. And I mean, I'm tempted to talk about things that, you know, like on TV they have these shows that's like, here in the UK it's called The Real A&E, where they show you like 24 hours of A&E and they show you all the injuries and stuff. And sometimes I'm interested in watching those, but then sometimes I'm not. I guess it depends on my mood. Yeah, sometimes I'm a little bit more squeamish about it, but then sometimes I find it interesting from a, I don't know, from a background of, you know, sports science and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I do find it interesting on that side of things. But anyway, right, what was it? It's got to have been, did I just end that? I think I just ended it. Oh, hang on, let me click on this. I've got a new button that I can click on. Oh, they have put a new section in the live chat room that's now called fan funding, which means that if somebody's made a donation through the super chat window, then I can just see the donations. That's the first time I've actually noticed that. Let's go back to the live chat and let's scroll up to see that You Know My Name has 68% of the vote. So thank you guys for voting for that one. We are going to be jumping into my version of the Chris Cornell Classic with Kent Johnson on strings, violin here. So I hope you guys enjoy it and I'll see you after. Rock!
Take a life, do you know what you give? Odds are you won't like what it is. When the storm arrives, would you be seen with me by the merciless eyes of deceit? I've seen angels fall from New York.
And there we have it. That was Kent and myself having a little go at You Know My Name. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for requesting that and a Design for Life over on Patreon. We do need a few more thumbs up. We just hit 300. So we need 55 more. Obviously easy for me to work out. But 55 more thumbs up to have the Filjam at number 44. But we might make a special case tonight because number 44 is the first of a new batch that Joe has sent me of backing tracks because we reached the end of the last batch. So we might make an exception, but we will still aim for 355. So yeah, if you do get a chance to hit that thumbs up, that would be great. And yeah, a lot of people mentioning about my hair in that last video. And this is something that I kind of go through different phases of liking it longer and then liking it shorter, because the shorter it is, obviously the more air I get around my neck, and when it's hot, like here in the UK, it's totally random as to we can suddenly have ridiculously hot temperatures, then it's nicer because it's cooler. But maybe, I mean, that must have been in the winter that we recorded that, because the hair was right down here, which means it'll be on my neck all the time. But yeah, as it is getting to winter, maybe I'll grow these bits a little bit longer, but I have only just had a haircut. So this is the other thing, that actually, if you take out the curl and the bounce, when I grab my hair and pull it down, let me see how long it goes. It is, I mean, it'd probably be quite close to the length that it was in that video. So my hair is quite long if I were to straighten it. But then release it and it pops back up there. But this is the thing with my hair, you know, it just curls and it just pops back to where it wants to go to. So yeah, I'm not going to start straightening my hair. I think I might have actually done it for that video. You know, videos are special occasions. So yeah, to make it look a little bit neater. But yeah, I might grow it out a little bit longer, or I might not. It always depends how I feel. And it's always a random thing on the day. My hairdresser says, so how much are we taking off? And I always say, I don't know, you know, whatever, you know, whatever it is, because it's always so hard to judge. But anyway, I don't think recently I've ever taken off too much, but just enough so that then in another, 2 months, it's back to being a little bit too long, and then we go through the same process. But maybe I'll leave these bits to go a little bit longer. Who knows? Depends how I feel. Right, let's get into Picture Corner, because we just have one picture for tonight, so let's dive into there. And let's find where the picture is. Here it is, and it's Janice, who's wearing the wings of Pegasus hoodie. And let me see if I can get the message over on Facebook. It goes with this. And oh, why has it done that? It's just disappeared. Has the music disappeared as well? Or no? I think the music is still going. I can't hear the music, but I never can. Right, let me try and get this back. Okay, we are back. It just decided to disappear. Don't know why. Maybe it's because I was loading up something else and that then didn't give it enough bandwidth for loading. Anyway, yeah, this is for Janice, wearing her Wings of Pegasus hoodie. And the message is me trying to learn guitar on a classical acoustic, not working out with my small hands. So thank you for that. And it looks like Janice is attempting a D shape, but the second finger, is in the wrong fret there. But this is the thing that you'll find as well, that is just called a classical guitar that you're playing there. An acoustic guitar will have generally a thinner neck and be easier to play, and it's pretty much a halfway house between having an electric guitar. So acoustic is going to be slightly thicker, slightly harder to play than an electric, but then a classical guitar is going to be harder to play generally than an acoustic guitar. So you are trying to play the hardest guitar that there is, because with the classical, you are always supposed to have your thumb behind the guitar, and you don't have the thumb over the top of the guitar, so you very much play in that classical position. So that's why it's going to be more difficult, and you will be able to, I can see the size of your fingers, you will be able to play the guitar, but you just have to make sure that you get your fingers, you can be quite close to the fret, which is the silver bit, the silver line. You can get quite close to the fret to see how close you can get to either side of the fret without it buzzing. And because you are playing classical guitar, they will be nylon strings, so they will be a little bit easier to hold down, but practice makes perfect, as I always say. But just, have in mind that you are playing probably the thickest and the most difficult neck to play the guitar in terms of the wideness and the amount of wood that's behind the fretboard. It wasn't really designed like an acoustic guitar or an electric guitar to have that thumb over the top and be able to play bar chords that way and all that kind of stuff. So there you go, but stick with it and you will be fine. And thank you for sending that one in. So let me now bring everything back to here. And if you guys want to send in any pictures of yourselves modelling any of the Wings of Pegasus merchandise, then head over to the Facebook page, and that's the Wings of Pegasus supporters group page. You can join in there and hang out with these lovely people in the live chat room tonight. That's where they hang out between the live streams. So yes, you can do that if you want to. Then Laura will link me to those pictures and I'll show them on the live streams. As I always say, it's great to see you guys on screen rather than me for the whole time. So I think we are now up to date with everything. 3 minutes past midnight. Let me have a look actually over at this list of backing tracks over on Patreon. Okay, number 44 is 7 minutes and 45 seconds. So it's quite long. Where are we at? 3 minutes, so that'll take us through to 10 past midnight. Right, so we're looking for more thumbs up. I tell you what, I'm instantly thinking that I haven't set this up, but let's have a riff of the week. So I'm looking for numbers between 1 and 100. If you can type those in the live chat room, we will have a riff of the week, which I'm going to try and set up on the fly. As always, I haven't actually set it up on my screen for the screen capture, but we will see how I get on with doing it. Right, let me move that over there in readiness. It's not going to be centered on the screen or anything because the picture that I was just showing would have been centered, and it's not that window. I have to move that screen capture to a different window. It's all technical, but numbers going through, and let's see. Mary V says 44. Let's have a little look if we've had number 44. We've had number 44. And Laugh Out Loud Can says 62. We haven't had number 62, so we will try that one. So, riff of the week 62. And there it is. Let me click on that and that. And pause that. Right. I'm going to attempt. I wonder if I can make this. Maybe I might be able to do the screen capture in a bit of a different way to make the window smaller so that the screen capture fits. And I might have done it. Right. I couldn't hear the picture corner, so I don't think I'm going to be able to hear this riff. So I'm going to be guessing as to what this is. As always, let me know which song this is from. You can name the band as well if you want to, but I'm looking for the name of the song. So let's have a listen to this riff of the week and see what it is. I don't think I'm going to hear it. And there we have it. Now, I think this, looking at my hand positions, this is a song from, one of my favourite bands. So let's have a little look through here. And wow, Cindy got it straight away. 17 by Winger. Let me move up to see if that was the first guess. I wasn't expecting many people to get this, because, yeah, it is a bit of a... Or PN112 said Winger 17. Yes, Billy, as always, says Rainbows. Riff. Scrolling up, I think... Oh, Janice says Bon Jovi. So, in the same kind of wheelhouse, but... Yes, Wing... Oh, Selena says 17. Correct. And more people are getting this than I imagined. Maybe because I think this might have been one of their songs that was more well known when they first kind of released it. Would have been, what, 89 or 90, somewhere around that kind of time. But yes, it was Winger. I'm still waiting for people to go through. Rose says Winger, and 17 was the song. And, I mean, that's a really cool riff as well. I mean, there's a lot going on in order to play that. But that's just Red Beach all over. He plays these riffs, makes them sound like faultless, but then they're really technically complicated to play. So, let's have a little look through. And, yeah, I think pretty much that's going to be it for the live chat room with the correct guesses. So thank you guys for guessing and playing Riff of the Week for this week. And it looks like we need 21 more people in the live chat room to hit that thumbs up to have a Filjam. And, I mean, maybe I have once started the Filjam before actually getting to the total, hoping that we would get there. I mean, 21 people is still quite a lot of people to, still hit the thumbs up, because it needs 21 more new people who haven't hit thumbs up already to then hit thumbs up. So we are looking for a spike of the likes and lots of people to join in with the live stream right at the end. But we are going to jump into it just because it's the next one on the list. And last Tuesday we didn't have a Filjam because the internet wasn't working and all that kind of stuff. So maybe we can just say that this is replacing that one. So we do have a bit of an excuse to have an extra Filjam. And not that we should need an excuse, but here we go. I can see that we're now looking for, 16 more people. So it is reducing the amount that we need. And we just popped up to 41. So we're looking for 14 more people. And, right, I've got to get myself organised and actually click on this. And, let me mute that so that the advert goes through. Skip that. Unmute. To the beginning. Right. So, here we go. This is the name of the video is Smooth Enhanced Guitar Backing Track in A Harmonic Minor, and this is from Q Jan Tracks, all one word, capital Q, and then Jan Tracks with a capital J and a capital T. So we will have a listen through here, and we're looking for 11 more people to hit that thumbs up. So we are close, and I haven't got the wah-wah plugged in tonight just because I think the interference that it causes, especially with everything on, it kind of detracts a little bit. Even though, when there's kind of lots of distortion and stuff going on, you can kind of get away with it. But we are just going to play through this just with standard sound here. And hopefully... Is that coming through? I think it is. Right, we will play this, see what happens. As always, not sure what the mix is going to be. Can you hear this? Okay, so some people, did somebody say a little bit louder on the guitar? Is that better? Oh, skip ads! Quick! Skipped!
What, 40 seconds, something like that.
So that was it. And there we had it. So yeah, I mean, that was a cool one, a bit relaxed, a little bit, yeah, kind of, I don't know, more somber. Well, it's called Smooth Enhanced Guitar Backing Track. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up, because we did hit the Filjam target during the Filjam. So yeah, that was great. We are now at 365 likes. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. If you're watching this in the future on catch up, you can keep on hitting the thumbs up. It really does help this channel to grow, and just for the live streams to get out there a little bit more as well, and the comments help and all that kind of stuff. So we will be calling things to a close, but I mean, what a way to kick off the new list of random backing tracks. So thank you, Joe, for sending those along. And I'll tell you what, let me have a quick look as to how many we have. It now goes up to number 68, which I think I read, it just popped up in the corner of my eye, some numbers. So yeah, I think we were up to maybe number 75. So 44, 68, that's like, what, 24? So does that mean we get up to 100? We probably get up to 100. I'm sure that Joe has done that intentionally. So yeah, we would have had 100 Filjams by the end of the next list. So between number 44 and 68. So we've got 24 more tunes to be getting through, or backing tracks to be getting through. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow, as always. Live streaming Saturday night. As always, same time, same place. I will be here at 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So if you guys can make it, that's where I will be. It'd be great to see you. And, oh, Joe says last one is 100. So yes, indeed, Joe has pre-planned it all for us. So he will have had a 100 by the end of the next list. But thank you guys again for joining me. As I always say, try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Thank you guys for the donations, of course. And I am just going to make sure, I think we did get up to date with everything there, and we did. So yeah, thank you guys for those, even though you don't have to. They are very much appreciated. But I will see you guys tomorrow night, and then Saturday night, if you can make it, as I already said. So have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!